Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the lesson plan number 2 of the second term. In this case, we're going to talk about the third grade in high school. The theme for the class will be global warming, and we're going to look at in relative clause. So we're going to look at global warming, but we're going to mix it up with relative clauses. The class is going to be in approximately 45 minutes. The proficiency level of the students is B1.1. And now we're going to look at the objectives for the class. In listening, the students will be able to describe the effects of global warming. In speaking, the students will be able to talk about their advantages and disadvantages. In reading, the students will be able to describe different green products. And in writing, the students will be able to write about the impact of green and non-green products on the environment. So this is what we're going to hope that will be accurate at the end of the class. In methodologies and strategies, in methodology, we're going to work on content language integrated learning and communicative language approach. These two methodologies will be seen throughout the lesson plan that in the class. The strategies that we're going to use is identify topic sentences, and the other is include supporting sentences to give details and specific examples. So as always, we're going to have our anticipatory set, and in this case, the teacher hands out the students a KWL chart. So the teacher asks the students to write what they know, what they want to know, and what they have learned about global warming. And okay, so the KWL chart will be divided up into 3 parts. The one will be with what they know, what they want to know, and what they have learned. Of course, the student at first is going to fill out only the 2 first charts because of what they know. What do you know about global warming? And the other, what do you want to know about global warming? So the last one, what have you learned, of course, is going to be filled out at the end of the class. Okay, so in the warm-up activity, the teacher gives students pictures of the earth from 100 years ago and now. Then he asks the students to identify some of the changes. A part that I forgot in the anticipatory set, the teacher is going to walk around the class and he's going to check what the students have written, and he's going to see what the students want to know and what they already know about global warming. Okay, so in the warm-up activity, we're going to show, as the tutor is going to show a picture of the earth, how it was many years ago. And he's going to show a picture of how it is now. He's going to ask the students to describe the differences that they see. Maybe, there aren't any green parts anymore. Things like that. And okay, so after this, the teacher pairs up the students and asks them to read a short passage on global warming. He asks them to underline the topic sentence. And here is where we're going to find content language integrated learning. Okay, so I looked up a passage about global warming in the internet, which I found was really good to read. And this passage will have, I think it's like 4 paragraphs. So the students are going to work in pairs, and they're going to find the topic sentence. They're going to read the passage. This time they're going to, and they're going to underline the topic sentences. They're going to underline what they think the topic sentence is. And here's, well, like I said, here's where we're going to see the content language integrate learning. After this, the teacher checks the topic sentence from each paragraph along with the students. So to make sure that each student has understood what the topic sentence is, he's going to go over each topic sentence, and then each student will know if they had or did not have a great idea of what this topic sentence was. And if they had anything wrong, now they're going to know which one is correct because the teacher is going to go over this. So after, the teacher asked the students to read again, but this time he asked the students to underline the supporting sentence. So now, since we already have our topic sentence, the teacher will ask the students to underline the supporting sentences. Remember, the supporting sentences is what, go along with the topic sentence. Supports, like its name says, supports the topic sentence of the paragraph. The students check along the statements they made in the KWL chart. They're going to go over what they have written in their charts. The teacher checks the answers through error correction. So the teacher is going to go over every sentences that maybe they have seen through error correction. After this, the teacher asks the students to share what they have written down in the KWL chart. And this is where we're going to do communicative approach. So the students, while they share what they have written in their charts, they're going to maybe share, maybe a student's going to maybe have an opinion. Doesn't necessarily have to be a positive opinion of what they have written. They can share and they can, talk about what they have written in their charts. After this, and finally, the students write the last column of the KWL chart, what they have learned, and some of the greenhouse's effects. So after they read the passage, mix sentences, find the topic sentences, find the supporting sentences, they're going to fill in the last column of the chart of what they have learned. And what they have learned in the passage, maybe what they have learned after seeing the pictures of 100 years ago, and how the earth is now, and how the greenhouse affects, so how this affects our environment, and everything like that. Of course, the teacher is again going to go over, and if he has any doubts, if the students have any doubts, he's going to try to clear them out, and he's going to correct any sentences that may be not well structured. So in modeling, the teacher draws on the board his or her own KWL chart of global warming. The teacher jots down what they know and what they want to learn. At the end of the lesson, the teacher completes their chart, showing the students their proper way to fill in the chart. So in case any student has any doubt of how they have to fill in the chart, the teacher is going to do it at the beginning of the class and at the end. In guided practice, the students check along with the other students the topic sentence and the supporting details of each paragraph. The teacher monitors and aids the students when questions arise. In independent practice, the students write about what they have learned about global warming and greenhouse effects. This, like I said before, they will do on their own. This time they're not going to work in pairs because, like I said before, it's our own personal KWL chart. In assessment, the teacher will assess the students through an observation checklist. Of course, as tutors, we must always have a checklist to see if the students have done this task correctly, if they haven't, and we're going to try to explain maybe something that they have done wrong. So this is it for my second lesson plan.